now I have to ask you this question. How does someone who's listened to this and they want to say, hey, I've seen so many people turn real estate into money and a business. How can I turn my real estate into a business?
So I just gave an example of my own personal experience, right? So the property that I purchased, and if you're just a regular homeowner, right, what you can do always, first decision that you should make if you own a home right now, and then at some point you are going to move into a new property, is can you afford to keep that property, or can you pull out a little bit of cash and not over leverage yourself and use it to buy the new house and keep it and rent it, right? That's the simplest way to get into real estate investing. Otherwise, you're going to have to get 20% and put it down to be able to purchase a rental property. So the departure loan, which is the first type of loan that I just spoke about, where you live in a house, it's your home, but now we live in a townhouse and we're going to go buy a single family house. And now we move out of that home and we own the townhome. We paid 400. We lived there for 5 years, 10 years. We paid it down. We only owe 200 on it now. It's worth 500. I'm going to pull out 100 grand and use that as the down payment for my second house. I'm going to rent it out. And now that townhome basically is a wash or even an income generating asset on my portfolio. So now I've got income from the townhome and I got the cash out of it for my down payment for my new property. And now I'm a real estate investor. And now you're making money and you own a business. That house is now a business.
Hmm. Okay. So you're essentially saying buy your first primary residence. Then once you have that first primary residence, then try to get a second one and rent out the first one. That's what
Correct.
you're saying?
Yep. And you can do that legally up to about 5 to 7 times
Mm,
before it's like, you've got too many loans and dependents. Because some people, I know there's a lot of people these days, the generation of like, I'd never own a home. I don't want to buy a home. I'm just gonna, buy it and invest in it, making a business. But like once you go through the home buying experience and you're a homeowner, you just have a much more of an educated lens on how it works and how it operates. So going through that initial first purchase yourself and knowing how you kept your home and how you do it versus how a renter is going to do it is very, very different. I've seen a lot of people, partner up with people, purchase a house or try and do it themselves, try and go out of state, buy this rental property because it's only 60 grand. They're putting down minimal amount of money. And the next thing, it's a headache. The furnace goes out, the roof leaks, this happens, that happens. And now they're not making any money because they didn't really understand the scope of owning that asset in the first place. So
mm.
start with yourself because that is a business in itself. That first house, again, we're going back to that a few times, but it's just a good example for what we're talking about, is that house is now a business for me. And even when I was living there, though, you got to think just through the 11 years of ownership that I had on it, it went from 230,000 even up to 4,000. So just even in that time frame, I leveraged the house a bit, pulled out 50 grand when I wanted to do something, but paid it off, and now it's way back down again. So you can use these assets as a tool whenever you need to if you're smart with it. The main thing is, again, don't over leverage yourself and make sure you understand the asset that you're purchasing.
Okay.